pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes from January 16th, 2014.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sweet?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye. Motion approved. Second item is Commissioner's Offices will report on the financials.
And I can,
Okay.
I'll go through that real quick.
Okay.
We had this was on the 23rd, Resolution 14-00-011, include a supplemental appropriation for salary and benefits for MAPU employees that have been transferred to the County Auditor's Office. An appropriation transfer from the contingency account to the prosecutor's hospitalization line due to a change in insurance coverage. One then and now for the building department. A payment to Manatron for annual support for property tax software for the auditor's office in the amount of $83,282.50. And a payment to ITerSource for annual network support for the auditor's office in the amount of $45,000.
Okay, if we could read number 2.
Commissioner's Office will report on financials from January 23rd, 2014, Resolution 14-011, as approved by the County Administrator pursuant to the motion approved January 16, 2014, to authorize the County Administrator to execute in case of lack of quorum commissioners and/or if session is canceled on a regular financial day or on a day when financials need to be approved, the required approvals for county financials on behalf of the board during year 2014 as authorized by ORC 305.3.
I'll make that
Oh, you
motion.
don't have to act on that.
Oh, not here.
You're just acknowledging.
Oh, just acknowledging?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. And number 3, Heidi.
Today's financials include revenue certification for the Board of DD operating fund for new ODE special education funding and Board of Mental Health for apartment operating revenue. Supplemental appropriations for the Board of DD for their board approved budget adjustments. Travel request for the Recorder's and Treasurer's Office and Department of Emergency Services. We have one then and now for the Department of Job and Family Services. Payment to Cummins Bridgeway LLC for the purchase of a genset diesel generator for the Department of Water Resources in the amount of $21,018. And a payment to Mr. Excavator for the Russell Township Center Sewer Project for the Department of Water Resources in the amount of $67,412.44.
Are they complete with the?
No, that's just payment one.
Payment one, okay.
So I think it's $237,000 altogether. That's the first payment.
All right.
Okay, well, I'll make a motion to accept the financials in Resolution 14012.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Yeah, may I ask
But-
something?
yep.
I had a call from a woman who had asked, when all the schools were closed, how come DD didn't close, Metzenbaum? Is there a reason? Do we know why
Well,
that is? She
I
was pretty
talked-
upset about it, but I said, well, you know, you can always, she kept her son home.
I talked to Don Rice because he wanted to kind of be on the same page as the county.
Yeah.
But, I mean, acknowledging that, anybody serving, people that are vulnerable, either very young or very old, is gonna deviate from what the county might do.
Yeah.
He just felt in his opinion the conditions were good enough to be open. So he doesn't follow the schools per se.
He doesn't follow the schools, but there wasn't any financial reason for that because this one woman felt that the buses going out would be just like the school buses.
Mhm. Yeah, well,
that was a
ultimately-
question I said I would ask.
Yeah, no, ultimately,
certainly
that's a
ask.
decision by the superintendent, and his board has to review that. If they think there's
Yeah.
any changes, that they're the ones that would do it.
Yeah, they were
Yeah.
kind of upset. Okay, thank you.
So they use their own buses?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still, it's the same thing, you know.
Okay, and from the Department of Aging, Jessica.
Hi, Jess.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
frosty one we got there. So I'm here today to see if you will approve and execute our contract with our West Geauga site, Patterson's Root Farm or Orchard Hills. I'm just looking to do a one-year contract with it being a levy year.
Okay. Is it comparable to other years, what we've paid? Is it the same? or
It is up 10%.
Up 10%?
From the last 2 years. We usually do a 2-year contract, so the last 2-year contract, we did go up 10%. And it is comparable to our other sites.
Other sites,
Absolutely.
cost.
In participation is,
We're at over 700 at that site
For each time?
2013.
Yeah, it's not much less than
For
the
the year,
main
for
site.
the main site, yeah.
Oh, is
Very
that
heavily
right?
used.
Our
Oh,
main
yeah.
site is
Yeah.
roughly, I believe it was about 880 for the year at Chardon, and we're at about 750 at the West G
Wow.
site. We get a very large crowd at West G.
so when you say 750, that's 750
Geauga
people
County residents
per year?
per year.
Okay, so we're looking at 2,415, 10% increase,
Right.
250, almost $3,000 a year. And you feel it's a good decision then?
I do, it's a very, very large space, and from what I understand, Sandy McLeod, she's the site coordinator there, she says the space accommodates her needs very, very well. We also serve home delivery meals out of that site, so they
Oh,
have the
you
right
do that
kitchen area
too.
as well.
Yeah.
So there isn't a, like, set time that you have to be there? If there's any extra time that you're there, do they give you?
They are
Access.
just, Mr. Patterson, he works very, very well with the site staff, so if we wanted to do something on an evening or on a weekend, if he did rent it out for a wedding,
Yeah.
they accommodate us very well.
Oh,
If there's any
that's great.
physical plant issues, we're able to call him and he comes over to, deal with any water leaks or any electrical problems.
So
Very
then,
landlord.
so you have use of that facility every day,
Yeah, Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday?
I believe we intake the food about 7 a.m.
And does that include the utilities,
Does not include the utilities. We pay just the electric.
electric? Okay.
On the one main building now, you have use of that other
We
party
do
center.
have use of an office area.
Well, what is
Well,
that?
and the party center too, right? I mean, the separate
Right.
building?
Right.
And you're not paying utilities on that?
We are paying utilities on the main area that is used.
Okay.
Mhm.
What does that generally run?
The winter bills are quite high, actually. I think we received a bill around $2,000 for last month.
For a month?
Because.
It must be electric heat.
Electric heat too,
Oh,
electric heat too.
wow.
In the summer months, the bill is not as high.
Yeah.
And,
so-
and how do we know though that like during the weekend when we're not using it, that we're not getting billed for that?
That, I cannot answer that question.
That's a good question.
That is a fantastic question.
You know, cause like, let's say he has an event
Absolutely.
on Saturday or Sunday, you know, are we putting a bill for
We are paying the electric bill. The electric bill is coming to us.
in
So
full?
the full,
The full bill? Hmm.
I can certainly discuss with him, utilities to see if we can pay a portion of the electric bill, depending on how often
Yeah.
his center is renting out.
or do we get a special deal?
Because, let me ask you, Jessica, and I know that, I mean, we don't wanna delay anybody from getting this done, and I understand your concern to get this, but, that's almost $4,100 or $4,200 a year, or a month right now, if we're paying that, I just, we're getting an increase, and then we're also maintaining the temperature for them during the weekends when we're not there, and that building is available for use. I know that they've got events in the evening and stuff. Maybe we can try to just renegotiate a little bit,
Yeah.
even if he reduces that 10% to go back to what we originally had, and just say, we'll maintain that electric, because obviously this is above normal with the amount of heat or the heat that's required with this colder temperatures that we've had this year. But the other concern is in the summertime for the
Air
cooling,
conditioning. Right.
if we have a hot summer, we're bumping up, and if he's got a wedding on a Saturday night, and he's got, say, 100 people in there,
60,000,
with a lot of body heat, now we're running air that much more.
Yeah, I
So-
guess I wanna look at that, because, I mean, there's the building, the two-story building that used to be the clubhouse, and then there's the other building where the dining area is and all that. And you're seeing two different, I mean, I don't think they're
We
on
get
the
one
same
electric
meter.
now.
You get one electric.
We do get one.
So the question is it just on the main building you guys are in, or is it somehow involve the main dining area, or the main banquet hall? where
Well,
the
we are
meeting-
using, we use the clubhouse, main room, and the kitchen.
Yeah,
Of
that's,
the event center.
that's
Yeah,
that.
right.
That's that main.
What is it, what does it cost us, like in our own senior center? What kind of, how can we compare to what we spend over there? You know, what is the, you know, the aggregate cost there as of composed with, you know, since we're using the
Yeah.
same amount of people? I mean, that's a good way to kind of
Well,
look at it.
like maybe Glenn Vernick and I could.
Yeah.
could-
So-
Just for our,
This,
Yeah.
for, just if we can, I'd request if we could table this just till we could get just a little bit of further explanation on that, Dave, and then
Yeah.
as far as to try to expedite, even if you had to try to get Glenn and yourself involved,
Yep.
just to see how we can figure that out.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to
Is
do
it-
it pretty quick, because it
Are
starts
these
February
terminates
1.
on the 30th?
Yeah, it starts on the
Okay.
1st, but that, I think we need to, I think we should compare that, especially
be
if
able
we
to gather
have
some
like
data.
amount of numbers of people.
Yeah, we may be able
You
to
know.
gather some data
Okay.
here in the next day or so, maybe even have something for you on
Yeah,
Thursday.
just so
Okay.
we know, and we can answer those questions.
Yeah,
And I apologize for the delay, it just, I think it just makes sense to
it's
just.
a lot of money.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was 60,000, overall over 60,000 we were looking at.
so we're gonna.
Close to, it may be a little less because you're not paying as much in the.
So then, do we need to read this to table it, or just
No,
basically,
just-
okay?
no,
we just
don't act
schedule
on it.
All right, and then on number 5 here, there's a full-time position.
So this is for,
It's for our intake position and referral position. What we have right now, we do not have anyone after 12 o'clock, as it is right now, upstairs on our business floor. So we have customers coming in, there's no one at the desk, and our phone is ringing quite frequently, transferring to multiple staff. We cannot seem to maybe book the appointment, has an appointment booked for legal. We do have an ancillaries coordinator. She is part-time. And instead of being able to coordinate the ancillary services from 8 to noon each day, she's actually doing the INR position based upon the needs. So my goal is to allow our ancillary services manager to manage the INR and also manage our assets on-site and off-site as far as maintenance goes and facility needs, make sure our MSDS sheets go in order, and have a full-time INR.
And you'd already gone through your budget, you
I
told
did
me
go
you could
through
save
it.
the money.
There is a way that I can save. Last year, we had been supporting Catholic Charities position, around $24,000 for a counselor. That position has dissolved, so we will
Oh,
not be putting
so
those
you have
funds in that
that to
direction.
put
I'd
in.
like to put it towards our in-house.
so it's not extra, it's just moving things
All
around.
right, so if we can, number 5.
The Department on Aging is requesting the board grant permission to advertise for the position of full-time information and referral assistant, number 1017. This position will remain posted until February 14, 2014.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you very much
Yes.
for your time.
And
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, number 6 and 7, they're both the same thing. They're both for our grant BF 13. The 6 is for the Knox boxes with the Department on Aging, and 7 is for the Burton log cabin. And it's just the paperwork that we need to send into the state before we can proceed with, go out to bid and proceed with the project or anything. And the Burton, as you know, it's just for making the restrooms ADA accessible, so we're not, changing land or doing anything there. And then the Knox boxes, those are going to be surface mounted, literally put them over the door and they can be removed. So that's why they're both determined to be exempt from any environmental impacts or anything like that.
Alrighty, so if we could read 6, 7, and 8.
Oh, I think, yeah, just 6 and 7. I did have one on, but we had to pull it.
Yeah,
It was for the-
yeah, eight's
Or, I'm
gone.
sorry,
Yeah, the
Yeah, that one
Yeah.
I pulled this morning.
Yep.
The Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the certification of determination of subsequent exemption for a categorical exclusion project for the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, number B-F-13-1AZ-1 for the installation of Knox boxes on seniors' homes throughout the county. Number 7 is the Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the certification of determination of subsequent exemption for a categorical exclusion project for the Community Development Block Grant, number B-F-13-1AZ-1 for ADA upgrading of public facilities to the Burton Log Cabin in Burton Village.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Joe. Morning.
That sounds tricky.
Oh, we're not fooled. Eight.
Shadow of the icicles hanging.
Yeah,
It doesn't even look
yeah, it
real.
gives it kind of a surreal look into.
Yeah. Only thing I got before you today is Ohio Public Works grant we've been approved for $100,000 go towards the Fowler's Mill Road Bridge. This is the one that's actually pretty close to the mill there, just north of 322 on Fowler's Mill. And this,
It's not the one that we replaced and put the double lane in years ago?
No.
This is down at the bottom of the hill, right after you go off of
You're over
Mayfield.
by Fling.
Yeah, I
No.
remember that, I mean,
Oh,
it's,
oh,
man, I
oh,
felt like the poster child.
This is right north
Oh,
of
remember
Mayfield.
that?
Yes, I do.
Yep,
Still, right?
yep,
Yeah.
just north of Mayfield, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we've talked to, and actually Andy Bushman talked to a few residents in that
Oh,
area, and
okay.
they're actually, the responses he got, they were pleased
Okay.
because currently they can't even walk across the bridge with cars coming because it's a bit narrow. It's not terrible, but it is. So that was really their only concern, that with any feedback we've gotten. There will be, this is about how Public Works, but today's, but there will be a couple easements, one on the inlet, one on the outlet. We've talked to one of the homeowners, still trying to get hold of the other, but it shouldn't be an issue. We'll talk about that when we bring the plans to you.
Yeah, thank you
But
for
yeah, this-
talking to them.
Oh, yeah, we try to, all up front, so if we do something, we can deal with it prior to bidding the thing out. And this just sets up Commissioner Spitaleri as the executive officer to sign for the releases when this does go through for funding.
All right.
So we do plan on building that this year.
Okay. About how long of a project you thinking?
We should be able to do it in about 3-4 weeks.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah, it's precast, so
It's not
we
a
do it
long
all up
time.
front. We get the contracts, they order the precast, and it usually takes about 4 weeks. But you don't see that side of it because we're not out on the road or anything.
Yeah.
And it gets hauled in, and we can usually set it in a day. And
Oh, so
it
it's-
takes a couple to rip everything out,
Yeah.
prep it, foundation, and attach the head walls and all that. But yeah, before you know it, we're in and out.
Oh, that's
And-
nice.
And we're intending to wait until school's out. We'll see how, the availability of getting the precast made is and everything, so we should be able to come and go.
Perfect. All right, thank you. Number 8 then, if we can read that. Or,
Yeah, A's right.
number 8.
Oh, I'm sorry, did you drop one
Yeah,
off?
the one out
Yeah,
for the.
I didn't
yeah.
get
The update.
Just to throw you off.
Dave does that to us.
The county engineer's office is requesting the board approve and authorize Ralph Spitaleri, Chief Executive Officer, to execute the Ohio Public Works Commission Project Grant Agreement, Local Transportation Improvement Program for the Fowler's Mill Road Bridge Replacement Project, CGY12, in Munson Township, in an amount not to exceed $100,000.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Sweetie?
Aye.
Aye. Motion approved. Thank you, Joe. All right, Mr. Adams.
Wish I could build something in 3 or 4 weeks. I'm 6 years on our project, so.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it back there. This is just some.
Hi.
Just some information I had for the stuff that we're presenting today. The board has asked that the commissioners place on the May ballot a renewal of their 7/10 mil levy. It provides mental health and substance abuse prevention and treatment services for about 12,000 Geauga County residents every year. It's been in place for 25 years now. This levy will continue. It's funny, we have programs in every senior center. We have programs, in every school district. It represents about 28% of our total revenue expected for this fiscal year. And there's probably a little bit more revenue over the calendar year because of our capital projects. We have 2 right now over on Aquila and Ravenwood Drive. We have the Transitional Living Center, which has just been completed for about $200,000, and then the new apartment complex will be completed hopefully by this time in 2 weeks. So that was a project altogether about $2 million project, and it was funded with 90% of that was public and private grants. So that project will open up debt-free by the end of February. We'll probably start placing people first part of March.
The good thing here is number 4. That's what number 4 says.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a renewal.
No, that's the good. Well, in this day when everything has gone up so much.
This levy's been pretty consistent for
1989.
many years, yeah. And you see some of our agencies there, Ravenwood, Lake Geauga Center, Catholic Charities, National Alliance on Mental Illness, Mental Health Association. Family and Children's First is a huge one, actually.
Yeah.
It's, that's done through Job and Family Services. And then, I want to say, I just got the Maple Leaf yesterday from last week. I'm going to go through it, and every page has something, one of our agencies or one of our programs is on every single page practically of those papers. So we have about 100 different programs that we fund and monitor every year in this county.
Mental health's a very, very important thing.
It's funny, that Cope line, we just got the numbers for Cope line. It's over 10,000 calls a year.
Oh.
1,500 different clients are getting emergency services, crisis services in Cope line. And when the weather's like this, you get some
Gotta be
really
really bad.
tough calls. Yesterday we had this woman call. She was going crazy with her children. I said to my wife, I said, just lock the door. I'll be home soon. Take it easy.
I know, I've been seeing things like the monsters are, I remember reading these little comments people put
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Facebook, the monsters are still home. I go, the monsters?
Yeah.
Well,
Told her I'd be there. It's tough. They're home.
well, it's tough when it's cold. And
Yeah, they can't go out.
Play.
It's dangerous. So.
You have a question?
So, yeah, I'm a little confused by this. Am I understanding this to be a tax increase?
No,
No, it's a renewal.
Levy?
I know.
It's been in place for 25 years. So.
It sounds like when he starts off, when he says, well, it's been here since 19, I thought, uh-oh, here it comes. And then I got to number 4, and I said, oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's been pretty consistent. So
Yeah.
they aren't seeking an increase. We did get a grant, a 3-year grant to do down. I think I put it under number 9. We got a 3-year grant to do research in the outcomes of children, adults, first responders to trauma through the Chardon school shooting. We talked about that at the budget hearing last fall. We're working with the Toledo Council of Northwest Ohio. They did the needs assessment with the health department just recently, about a year or 2 ago. We worked with them on the needs assessment, and so they're coming in to design the research survey and project. We have a PhD candidate to help put this together. We've been invited to speak at Tampa at the Children's Research Committee on this project. It's pretty cutting edge. The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration of Washington is interested in what happens to these kids, what happens to these adults throughout a community that's faced with trauma like we've had. So we're trying to make sure that what
Like that
we've
Sandy
learned
Hook
is
community.
exactly
Did you
right.
talk
Yeah,
with them? What do
we
they do?
consulted with Sandy Hook just hours actually after the
Really?
shooting. Yeah, and we're still working. In their community, the health department was given the responsibility for the community. They don't have the mental health system like we do
Oh,
here,
I see.
so they were given the responsibility for the long-term care and recovery of their community. So we've been working with the head of the health department for the last year and a half about what our experiences were, what kinds of things. Within 24 hours, we gave them a whole list of things to think about how to monitor their approach to the families.
And they took that school down, didn't they?
Yeah, I think
Took
that was the
school down.
decision.
I've been following that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess it would be hard to go back to a place which the 21st graders.
And that would be really, it just re-traumatized over and over again, I think. So I think you have something, Debbie's been very thoughtful.
One other, just to use this as an opportunity to make a suggestion. The audience doesn't have the benefit of what you guys have to see the.
Oh, you
items.
mean this paper here?
Yeah, you have a number of items, and we don't see that. We see a summary.
Yeah.
And it looked like a tax increase on this.
Well, it did to us too, as we read, as I
And
said,
so-
until you got further.
So-
down.
Oh, on the agenda, are you talking about?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I haven't
let
seen
me
the
make
agenda
this-
until
Well,
today,
that's
so.
Let me make this suggestion to you. For folks that are gonna come in and plead a case, it'd be nice if the public had the whole case.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
that's
maybe-
something you could
Maybe
pass
if
on.
you
Yeah.
could post it on the website, on the commissioner's website, so
Mhm.
whenever there's an agenda, there's something that ties to that agenda, and we can see the detail behind the agenda, so we're not at a disadvantage listening to what's going on.
Well, I gotta
So-
admit, as I went down this, I thought for certain it was because he said, it hasn't been passed since 1989, hasn't changed. I thought, oh, that's usually the forerunner of, well, we're gonna increase
I
it.
don't come here that often, so that, I didn't think twice
No,
about that.
But we're so paranoid about this.
Yeah, I
that
hear you,
We're
yeah.
at that point, but we do
Yeah.
appreciate you staying within the budget line that you've got and keeping so the taxpayers don't feel.
Yeah, and I think with the grant, that helped a
Yeah,
little bit offset
sure.
some of our costs, things like that. The only other thing that was on my notes was that some of the small programs we do, people don't even realize, the DARE program, the community intervention treatment for law enforcement, first responders, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Chardon Community Coalition, stuff like that. So those are some of the smaller things.
All right.
Let me
If we
see.
could read number 9 then.
Geauga County Board of Mental Health and Recovery Services is requesting the board approve and execute Resolution 14-013, declaring it necessary to levy a tax in excess of the 10 mil limitation, and requesting certification of the county auditor of the dollar amount generated at the request of the Geauga County Board of Health and Recovery Services, as authorized by ORC 5705.03, .19, .191, .221, .25, and .26.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Smeedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye.
Now, this is step one. You'll be
See you
back-
Thursday.
Yeah, we'll be back on This is step one where the auditor certifies it
Oh,
now.
and then they come back again.
For the action, they
And you
actually
swear
direct the
you
Board of
voted for it.
Elections.
Yeah, that's
You
right.
swear you voted for
Exactly
it a
right.
couple times and, okay.
Thanks, guys. See you
Thanks.
then.
All righty.
Human resources.
Doug?
We're done.
How are you?
Good, very good. All right, this is requesting for Ryan Benson, he's our maintenance guy there, next to 60 days here, extended probationary period to get the CDL license. With the new union contract coming up in the next couple of weeks, this should be avoided because of two cases. We're going to have an entry-level maintenance worker with no CDL requirement, and then also the probational period will go from the 3 months to 6 months. That's currently the fixed commission
Well,
contract.
is he having a problem getting it? Did he try it
Actually, in
already?
this case, no. He's the
He
guy
didn't
that
try it yet.
He's the guy that had the certificate with the EPA for the operator,
Oh,
and he needed 3 more months of experience. So they put him on all the routes with the guys to learn to do treatment so he can get his operator's license. So he'll be getting that in a couple of weeks. So he didn't concentrate at all about driving a truck.
I
So,
see.
yeah,
So he was working on
So
another.
we got the license first.
It's not a really good time of year to be
Right.
renting a truck and
I guess
driving
if you
down.
can
and
drive
taking
in
the
this
test.
weather.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's so slippery out there.
All right. Number 10 then.
Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve with the consent of the employee and in accordance with Article 17 of the labor agreement to extend the probationary period of Brian Benson, full-time maintenance worker 2330, an additional 60 days, allowing the opportunity to pass the CDL exam, which is a condition of continued employment.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Smeedy?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
Aye. Thank you, Doug. Okay, then we've got a resolution. approve execute resolution 14-014 honoring Eric Kruzman on achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. And he is from, does it say here? Troop 91, Munson Township, Geauga County. If we could have a motion on that.
I would make that motion.
And second,
Aye.
Commissioner Speed?
Aye.
Commissioner Spillier?
aye. And resolution approved. And then for our acknowledgements, we have the weekly report filed by the county dog warden. The monthly report filed at the sheriff's office of an account of expenses for the inmate meals for the month ending in December of 2013. And as far as for meetings this coming week, we've got the January 29th Geauga County Tourism Annual Members Meeting at 6:30 at the Middlefield Community Room. Geauga Township Association meeting at 6:30 at the Westwoods Nature Center. On Thursday, the 30th, Commissioners will hold a regular session, and on Tuesday, the 4th of February, the Commissioners will hold a regular session also.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay, so moved.
Clean color.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Use